use the time for the sounds. So if you don't want to see that, maybe just listen and like flip your phone over, whatever floats your boat. But anyhow, I've got here with me classic Hubba Bubba, and just the original flavor. Normally, I go for the watermelon flavor, but I already went through my reserves of that. I ate it all. So, this is what we're going with. So without further ado, we'll get going. I'm gonna be completely honest. I brushed my teeth about 10 minutes before recording this, so this has definitely got an interesting flavor to it. It kind of reminds me or rather it's akin to drinking orange juice after brushing your teeth. Same kind of thing. While we're on the topic of orange juice, I eat a lot of fruit with my lunch every day. It's not even like a healthy thing. I genuinely really like fruit. It tastes like candy. So I eat a lot of it, and oranges I eat every now and again. They're not like my go-to. I like them, but there's so many other fruits that I prefer. But this past 2 weeks, I believe, I got some oranges with my groceries. The first week, I bought those cuties oranges, the little tiny ones, you know. And I don't know, they weren't very good. Like, they were kind of dry. There wasn't a lot of juice in them for some weird reason. So this week I decided to just buy some like regular sized oranges. Well, I thought they were going to be regular sized, but they were like that big. They were practically grapefruits at that point, so, but I got some of those to would start to stink. And so, what I would do is I'd go to the bartender and I would ask for any old or discarded limes, like lime wedges or just old nasty limes, and I would just pop them down in the garbage disposal and shred them up, and it would instantly get rid of all the nasty smells, and then the whole kitchen would smell like lime. It was pretty nice. I actually really liked that job, but oh man, I haven't told this story yet. So I really enjoyed the job, but the last 2 or 3 months that I was there, we had got a new head chef. We'll call him Jordan. Why not? That's the first thing that came to mind, but at first, Jordan seemed very cool and nice and just like a kind dude that would fit in well. Well, he kind of slowly descended into madness over the 2 months that I was there with him. Perhaps descending into madness isn't the correct term. It was more like he started to show his true colors. So, he started off really, really nice and just a really down-to-earth guy, and he knew how to cook, which was good, and things were going pretty well. Well, slowly but surely, he started getting pretty hostile. I remember the first incident. The other line cook, so there was only 2 cooks at a time. A full crew was the head chef, the line cook, a dishwasher, me, and the bartender, right? Oh, and one a waiter or waitress. It was a very small restaurant. And I remember this one night, I was washing dishes, minding my business, and kitchens are pretty lively, you know. So music was playing and they're cooking, and all of a sudden, like, the nice facade he had going just dropped off the face of the planet. I remember, I think the line cook handed him the wrong thing. I think he asked for one of the sauces we have, and he got handed a different one than he had asked for. Holy hell. He didn't, like, just get annoyed. He was screaming at this other line for me to get in a spat with anybody, but the bartender, the waiters and waitresses, the line cooks, all of them, he would argue with, not argue, he would scream at them daily over nothing. There's no reason, right? Well, I wasn't super happy with that, but back then my philosophy was, well, I'm just coming here to make a little money. I'm a teenager, I'm just trying to get paid and go home, right? I was by far the youngest in the kitchen. I believe I was 18. Yeah, 18. And they were all in their 30s and 40s, right? So I was just staying out of it, minding my own business, and well, one day, it was my last day, incidentally. I was in the dish pit, completely minding my own business, and a cast iron skillet, which, for those of you who don't know, are very dense and heavy, went flying right past my head. Like it went right over my right side. My right side. And smashed into the wall right next to me. And I was like, what the hell just happened? I turned around and I see Jordan beating on the walk-in refrigerator doors with his bare hands. These walk-in refrigerator doors are solid steel, thick, heavy doors, you know. And he was just full force smashing his fists into this thing. And you could see, I watched him tear his knuckles open in real time. I mean, of course he didn't so much as put a scratch on the doors because they're solid steel, but his knuckles were just busted open. I still have no idea what the hell's going on. All I know is that a cast iron skillet almost just smashed into the back of my head, which is it's bad to get hit on the head in general, but the back of the head is brain damage city, you know? So that could have been really bad, and I had no idea what the situation was, but I didn't really care to find out. I just I took off my dishwasher's garb. It's like a rubber not cloak, apron. That's the word. And I hung it up on the wall while he's still punching the fridge. To this day, by the way, I have no idea what set him off. I don't know what caused it, but I walked to the front and I wrote he's still a little red in the face, but he seems to have calmed down for the most part, at least. And I said, hey Jordan, I'm getting out of here a little early. I actually just put in my resignation about 5 minutes ago, so I'm wishing you luck, but I'm out of here. And I don't remember word for word what he had said, but it was along the lines of, he actually, I mean, he took it well, way better than whatever happened 10 minutes prior, but he said something along the lines of, oh man, I'm sorry to see you go. Good luck out there, you know, I hope you do well. And he goes, he asked me, he said, what made you want to quit? I've never been someone to take stuff super seriously, you know, so I wasn't really mad at him. I just didn't want to be in that kind of situation, you know. So I said that, well, he almost took my head off with a frying pan, and then punched a solid steel door until your knuckles bled. It's just not quite the environment I'm looking for. And he said, he went, wow, I wish more people would just, you know, quit like that. Most people just suddenly leave for some reason. I was thinking to myself, like, gosh, I wonder why other people just leave randomly, but yeah. And then I shook his bloodied hand and got in my car and never returned. That is easily one of the strangest interactions I think I've ever been a part of in my entire life. It was so weird seeing such a fast flip in demeanor from throwing skillets across the kitchen and punching doors until your knuckles bled to taking a smoke in a lawn chair and having an actually pretty pleasant and honest conversation in the back. So it was very strange, but besides that, like, one incident, I actually had a pretty good time in that place. And even, I mean, hell, before the frying pan went flying past my head, it was a pretty good day before that as well, so it was alright. To be honest, I spent maybe only an hour out of my 8-hour shift actually doing dishes. was a very simple job. I was